You and I are done with Angelica. You're getting a divorce whether you like it or not. Once you come and sign your half of the divorce paperwork, get the hell out of my house.
Huh?
I've no use for some pig of a wife in my house anymore. And today was your worst day for this household so far. Not only did I just come home from a very long and exhausting day at work, but I came home to no dinner cooked for me yet, and all the chores still being left alone. What makes all of this worse is that you weren't even home. You were out having fun by yourself without ever thinking about my needs.
Hold on a minute, Jarrett. Calm down, would you? I'm not out having fun right now. Did you not read the message I sent you before I left the house?
Huh? What's this about a message being left for me?
My belly started to hurt really badly out of nowhere, and so I left the house to go to the nearby urgent care to get it looked at. And from what the doctors told me, next month is looking like the time your baby will be born. So I went into the urgent care just to make sure I wasn't going to have a premature birth or anything like that. I mean, this whole morning my belly was hurting so bad and I felt like vomiting. And at the time, I just couldn't focus on getting any of the chores done around the house.
So you telling me that the kid's out of you now?
Nope, it all ended up just being some slight abdominal pain due to the weight being exerted on everything down there. The nurse told me that it may have seemed like the baby was on the way, but you'll know when you're about to have a baby because the pain will be a lot worse. Hearing that it's only going to hurt worse than today when the baby is ready is actually quite a scary thing to think about.
You kidding me? So you just didn't have a clue what was going on then? No, I'm sure it wasn't on accident either. I bet you faked all that pain so you could get out of the house on purpose. And now you're just lying to me about all of that so I won't get even more upset with you about slacking off today.
What?
I know for a fact that you never actually had any of those so-called abdominal pains, which means you never actually went to any urgent care to get it all checked out. I'm not going to allow you to try and slack off from doing the chores by using yourself being pregnant as the excuse.
I'm not lying about this, though. Why would I ever lie to you about something like that?
I'm seriously starting to rethink things about you being my wife. You seem to think that it's all okay to just slack off every day and use your pregnancy as the reason for it. Even going so far as to lie about going to the doctor's office to get out of the house. You're such an awful wife, Angelica.
Excuse me?
Day after day, saying that you have to carry a baby and that's why you can't get any work done. All I've seen from you these last few months is you just laying around the house like a pig. Really, all you are now is a fat old loser that does nothing to make my household any better. And I'm not going to keep working a 9-to-5 job every day to support a fatty like you.
Calling me an awful wife and a fat wife? What the heck has gotten into you, Jarrett? You do not say things like that to your pregnant wife. I'm not lying when I say I want things to get done around the house. But right now, I'm in the last phase of my pregnancy, and it's just become too difficult to get up and move around like that. Whenever I do stand up, I begin to get dizzy. And I have to hold myself up for at least a couple minutes to get that feeling to go away. Most days, I just have to stay laying on my side to avoid having to feel like I need to throw up. It's driving me a little crazy feeling this badly all the time.
Well, just know that I'm at my limits with you. You and I are getting a divorce, and you're going to like it. I have the divorce paperwork with me sitting on the counter at home, so just sign them for me and hand them in.
You actually did go out and get those documents? You are seriously thinking of getting a divorce from me at a time like this? We have a baby that's on the way and will be here next month.
Shut the hell up, fatty. At this point, I'm starting to even wonder about if you're truly pregnant or not. You sure that all that weight on you isn't just the food you've been scarfing down the past few months?
Huh? Are you seriously going to say that about your own wife?
I am seriously going to say that about her, after what she's been going around doing. All I can see you as anymore is the perfect example of a fat loser. But you've just been going on with this pregnancy thing's way of getting yourself out of having to go to work, right?
I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. You have no right telling me something like that when you have the privilege of not having to ever carry a baby in your life. I've been working harder than you have carrying this baby around for us, making sure it's fed well and will come out healthy and happy. Well, I've had enough of you now, Jarrett. I don't want to raise my child with a father who has a mind like yours. I think I will agree to divorcing you now.
Well, since the two of us are happy to get a divorce now, We don't have to worry about settlements or anything like that.
That's right. You never bothered to think of me as anything besides a tool and wouldn't even support me with my pregnancy. Even before getting pregnant, I was starting to worry a little about what life would be like with you later on as my husband. Well, now I can see that this baby is going to be better off with only me as their parent.
The only thing you're going to be raising is more of that belly fat after I leave you. Anyway, get those documents signed and then get the hell out. I'm tired of having a fat loser sitting around in my house all day, so this will be your last chance to enjoy the amenities I have here.
Hey, Mom? There's someone really strange standing out in front of our house right now. Huh? I just got back from school, and as I went in through the back door, I could see some older man standing out front walking back and forth waiting for someone. And every once in a while, he'll come up on the porch and sit down for a bit. I'm getting scared by this. Do you think it's okay if I run to Grandma's house for a little bit? What's going on? Robin, you can hurry up and go back out the back entrance and run to your Grandma's house. I'll be on my way to your Grandma's house as soon as I finish up the last of my work here. Okay, I'll be going then. Has that old man been trying to talk to you at all? Or have you been trying to talk to him? Not yet, and I'm not going to talk to him. I'm going to call Grandma right now and tell her to have the police go to our house, and then they can take care of that man. Thank you so much for texting me about this the moment you realized what was going on. You are really smart for that and brave. I'm going to Grandma's house now. Good luck with the rest of your work.
Hey, Angelica, when the hell are you going to be coming home from work today? How much longer are you going to make me wait here for you?
Huh? Jarrett?
I've been waiting the whole day here for you to get home from work. You still haven't come home yet. It's gone 6 now, so hurry the hell up. And that's what's made all this a lot more frustrating for me, is that the police have now been questioning me. I'm not playing around about all this now.
Wait a second. So the old man that's been pacing back and forth outside my house all day has been you this whole time?
Pacing back and forth? I've just been waiting for my ex-wife to come home so that we can hang out.
What the heck do you mean by us hanging out? Why would you be waiting outside my house all day long for me to come home just to hang out? And why do you want to be around me in the first place? It's been over 10 years now since you and I got divorced, so what are you here for?
There's only one reason why I'll be here for you right now. I'm here to make up with you. Get back together again.
Huh? Make up? Are you saying that you want to remarry me or something like that?
Well, it's been 10 years since the divorce, and I'm sure that both of us have equally been through some tough situations since then, right? Recently, I had to swallow a tough pill regarding me becoming very sick. I didn't do anything about my symptoms for years, and when I finally went in to have them checked out, the doctor began to yell at me. He told me if I don't change my eating habit soon, I'll only have around 5 years left before I send myself into a comatose state.
What? You only have 5 years?
Right now, one of the most busy times for me at work, and I have no time to focus on changing my eating habits. But that doctor was very strict with me about how things need to change. So, I've realized that I really do need to do something about this. And what I need to do is get back together with you.
So, you're telling me that the only reason you want me back is to take care of you as you begin to fall apart?
Well, you're supposed to care for me before things fall apart. And really, I've been so busy lately that I can't watch my diet. I haven't even been able to get any of my chores done lately, and all my laundry's just piling up. And I've started to totally forget about throwing out the trash. But if I'm able to remarry you, well then, I won't have to be worried about all that crap anymore.
Get real, Jarrett. Who the hell do you think is going to come and be your housewife now?
Why are you getting so upset with me? I heard some things about you. Heard that you had a baby and she happens to be my daughter. Says she's a girl, she can even get some chores done around the house for me, even at that young an age. You're not going to be the only one doing all the chores this time, so what's the problem, right?
Huh? Not only do you plan to have me do your chores, but you want to make my daughter do them as well? Well, I'm not getting remarried to you, Jarrett, and that's not going to change.
Excuse me? You actually going to say no to me, supporting the both of you financially over here? I know dang well that as a single mother, your life is a living hell right now. So stop trying to make this more difficult than it is and come back to my place. Marry me.
Like hell I will.
I know that the money you're bringing in is only barely enough to get by with. It has to be painful living in that small house with your daughter when you don't even have the money to give her a good Christmas. So, come back, marry me, and I'll make sure you both have a wonderful life again. I just recently been promoted to department leader, so I'll have a lot of money coming in now. And that means a lot of money for both you and our daughter as well.
Stop trying to talk badly about the money I bring in. You haven't even been paying child support to me for the last 10 years, and I've done just fine raising my daughter with what I make. So if you have become a department manager now, then do us both a favor and start paying up.
I seriously never believed for 1 second that you actually gave birth to a child back then. But I guess you never were some fatty whose stomach was full of crap.
And just like that, I've remembered all the reasons why I hate you so much, Jarrett. You called someone who was pregnant with your child a fat loser. You were the worst frickin' husband on this planet and are still running as the worst man.
Yeah, but starting very soon, I'm going to be the best husband and father ever.
Huh?
I'm sure that my daughter wants to come be with her real father, right? I know that all children need to have a balanced family to be raised in, and that means having both parents in the house with them. I'm sure she's had more than enough time spent with you. Yeah, she wants a father figure in her life now. So, you really should just shut up. Come marry me already. If you really care about your daughter, then you should be running over to my side right now. Our daughter needs a father in her life, right?
You shut up, you annoying old fart!
Huh?
I don't need a dad if he's going to be like you. So stop trying to talk like you know what I want.
Am I talking to my daughter right now?
Well, I'm not your daughter, you weirdo. All I am to you is a stranger. Do you even know my name? I bet you don't. And I don't need a dad that doesn't even know his daughter's name. All I need is my mom, and that's it. So stay away from my mom and never marry her again.
Hey. Why are you saying things like that to your own father? I'm your father after all, and I'm here to take you back home with me. We haven't been able to meet for the last 10 years, but that whole time I've been wanting to meet you. But having to hear my own daughter, who I've been wanting to meet so badly, call me an old fart.
If you keep lying to us, we're going to call the police again. Did you know we can do that to you?
Huh?
My teacher told me about things like this at school. That those who lie are bad people, and the police will take them to jail.
Yo, your father isn't lying to you about anything right now. I'm telling you, this whole time I've been wanting to come see you.
No, you haven't. I know that you hate me, and you never wanted me. And that's why before I was ever born, you divorced Mom and told her to go away. You never wanted to see your own daughter, and that's why you made us leave, right?
That was never what happened. I think this whole time your mother's just been talking poorly about your father, and that's made you upset. You can see that your mom is the only mean person here, right?
My mom would never lie to me about anything. Also, my grandma has told me stories about you. She told me that right before I was born, you ran off and never spoke to my mom again.
What? Your grandma?
So now that you've even heard it from my daughter, you can give up now, right? I understand that to a small kid it's important for them to have both a mother and a father figure in their lives, but my daughter doesn't want you to be her father figure, so... I mean, she even showed that dislike for you to me by snatching my own phone right away from my hands and texting you all of that. So that's why I've been saying that you and I will not be getting remarried.
Hold on just a second. Who the hell is this grandma she was talking about? I heard from you that your mom died ages ago. You never had anyone like a mother figure around you since then, right? So you're never able to go back to anyone like your mom or dad after giving birth to her, right?
Well, this is your mother we're talking about here. After what you'd done to me, your mother came to my side and made sure to care for both myself and my baby when we needed someone. And she's done a great job being a grandma to my girl.
What? Yo, you been talking to my parents still? And they've never said a thing to me about it?
Not just talking with them, but staying with them as well. I'm actually with your mom right now. And this whole time, your mom and dad have been looking over my shoulder at the conversation we've been having.
Excuse me?
I got a text earlier today from my daughter about how there was some old man pacing back and forth in front of our house. And so I had your parents take care of her while I was still at work and had them call the police on you as well. And once I had finished my work, I went over to their place where I'm currently staying now. And just a bit after arriving here, you happened to start texting me. So this whole time you and I have been texting, they've been sitting around me watching.
They live in the same neighborhood as you. Hey, tell me how the hell that happened. I haven't even been able to get in touch with my parents for the past few years. So why are they there with you while I'm texting you? Wait, just after our divorce, they told me they'd sell their house and move far away. Is moving into this neighborhood what they meant by that?
Huh? You knew that they would be moving over here, right?
Never had the chance to learn about where they'd be moving to. I just assumed the day they told me they were moving, and they never contacted me again, meant that they went another state or something.
Well, I guess if they didn't contact you afterwards, you wouldn't have known. I mean, your parents were very upset with you when they heard about what you called and did to me. When I told them that you called your own pregnant wife a fat loser, they flipped.
And that's why I never bothered to really text them after they left. When I learned this time that I was really sick, I thought it'd be a great time to go back to my family's house. I started trying to call them both, but they'd never pick up. And when I texted asking their address, they just left me on red. Been a real pain in the butt for me.
I see. And so that's the reason why you're now trying to get your ex-wife to care for you?
Why my parents moving to the same neighborhood as you did? And what's this going on between you two, acting like you're all still family?
Did you know that the reason your parents moved into this neighborhood was for my daughter and I? They told me they'd take full responsibility for their dumb son, and that they'd do everything in their power to make sure my daughter and I live a happy and safe life. And just like they said, they moved into a house down the street and have been taking care of us since.
You kidding me?
And it's because of them both that right after having my baby, I was able to get back out there and find new work. And as time's gone on, they have stuck around to make sure that my daughter gets to where she needs to be while I'm working. Just like today, when she told me there was a strange old man standing out front, I was able to ask your parents to take her in. I'm being serious when I say that your parents are some of the best people on this planet.
Stop it with that crap. They aren't the best people anywhere. They haven't even bothered to talk to their own son for the past 10 years, as though they never even had a son in the first place. Yet they're totally fine acting like you're their daughter, and your kid's their grandbaby. This is all completely screwed up. They should be caring about me and my problems.
No, they shouldn't. Your parents have already told me that they never want to see or hear from you again, so why would they ever come and help you now? As far as they're aware, their real son passed away a decade ago and was replaced by an imposter. They always say things like that to all their friends, actually.
Huh?
And unlike their dead son, they still have a breathing and cute grandchild to look after. And they want to make sure that their dead son's ex-wife is taken care of as well. So now, good luck to you and that fake sickness of yours. Not only do your parents and my daughter not want you in their lives, but neither do I or the rest of the people in this neighborhood.
Yo, you have to wait. This is all just a joke, right? Do you really think I'm going to believe that everyone is going to throw me away now? If I can't find someone to change my diet and clean my house to me, I only have 5 years at the most left in me.
You're not a freaking baby anymore, so you should be able to care for yourself, right? Even my own daughter is able to care for herself more than you can, which is pretty embarrassing, right? So if you really want to keep calling yourself her father, then you need to show us that you can actually do more than sit around and cry all day.
Please, Angelica, can't you at least hold on to me for a bit longer? I'm not going to say anything as selfish as wanting you to marry me again anymore, but I at least want you to stay by my side. Help me out.
Huh?
I just got a message from my parents finding the other day. Been about a decade since I last heard a thing from them. When I started to think that they were beginning to worry about their sick son, they started to blow up on me. They kept telling me to stay away from everyone in their family, including you. That from now on, they're completely cutting ties to me. And we'll make sure you and your daughter do too.
It's about time those two told you how they feel about you. I'm sure having to hear how angry they are with you from those two themselves has really shined a light on how horrible of a person you are, right? I was watching them when they wrote those texts to you, and your dad had a face on him that even the devil would respect. It made my daughter cry seeing him that angry.
Never thought that my parents would ever tell me they don't want me anymore. Parents should normally want to come and help their kid when they become sick, right? It's a right? Instead of you. You'll never leave me like they have, right? We've already been married before, so there's nothing that could make you throw me away, right? I'm sure that since then you still hold on to some feelings for me. right?
Not at all, Jarrett. And as for ever thinking about getting back together with you, those thoughts died the moment you kicked me out of your house 10 years ago.
Huh?
And besides, I've been really busy since then being a single mother. I have to work on my own, I have to do all the chores at home on my own, and I have to raise my daughter to be a good woman mostly on my own. It's a tough life for me that's kept me busy for so long. So ever since you left me, there hasn't been a single ounce of interest in someone like you.
That's... So, you never even once thought about making things right with me again. Getting back together. And even during this past week, you haven't thought anything about me? I thought for sure you would have started to notice the great man I am again.
Why would I ever want to start thinking about you again? I have no reason to. And like I said before, who the hell would want to get remarried to you?
I told you that I wouldn't be selfish in asking you to marry me again. I just want you to come and visit me a few times each week. Heck, just a few times a month would be fine with me. When you come over, all I ask is for you to take care of me for a day.
Jesus, Jarrett.
Back when I was able to eat your cooking, I never had to worry about getting sick from it. And having you handle all the chores in the house for me made it so I could stay healthy. Now that you've been gone for 10 years, I really need you back in my life.
So you're asking me to just come over and do all the chores for you now? That's even more selfish than you just asking me to marry you, you fat idiot.
I've been wanting to pay you, though. I think this could make for a great opportunity for you to make some extra cash. How about $300 a month for your services? How does that sound? That should be enough to pique your interest a bit, right?
You think $300 is enough to get me to come back to that hellhole and care for the most hated man on this planet? For Christ's sake, Jarrett, don't make me laugh too much.
Then how does $1,000 sound? That work for you? Not just that, but I'll start paying child support as well. From now on, I'll take the responsibility of her father. Make sure she gets that child support. So please, don't throw me away, because I'll be willing to give you that much.
Sorry, Jarrett. No matter how much you offer, something that impossible will never happen. And at this point, we don't need child support from you. Really, no matter what you try and offer me, it's not going to happen.
What?
If you really need someone to come over and wipe your butt that badly, then maybe look into hiring a pro housemaid or something.
But if I hire a housemaid, I have to pay them more than I want to. They'll be a complete stranger to me, trying to feel my need for love. I want my family to come back to me, be by my side again.
Really?
Please listen to what I'm asking for. I'm seriously sick right now. Every day has been hell for me because my body is hurting so much. And on days off from work, I can't even get out of bed and have to lay here on my side all day. But even now, I don't want a pro caring for me. I just want someone that I know personally to be here to care for my needs, out of love.
And I completely understand how you feel right now. Back when I was pregnant, I felt the exact same way as you do now. I was in a lot of pain half the time due to my large belly, and I always felt sick to the point I wanted you around me to help out. It was a feeling of just wanting someone I love to be there with me, showing how much they care by doing the chores and cooking for me.
That's right. So you really do understand how I feel now. So please, Angelica, since you really do understand me, you can come and help.
Huh? Just because I understand you doesn't mean I care to be there for you. I already made myself clear by saying it's impossible.
What?
When I was feeling that way, you never once came to help me or even cared to understand how I was feeling, right? And not only did you not help me, but you turned all of that against me and started to talk crap about me for it. You called me a fat loser and all of that, right? And you even now still doubt that I was ever even pregnant in the first place. You think I'm going to come and help you now after all of that?
Well, that was...
Your parents already told you, right? That you are never to come and talk to any of us ever again, right? I guess even a man as old as you has a hard time understanding English. When they ask you to stop talking to us, that means you put down your phone and never text or call me ever again. It means to never be around us ever again because none of us want to remember those horrible memories you left us all with. The whole reason you are all alone now with nobody to help you is all due to the actions you took against everyone, and you deserve every bit of it. After that, Jarrett's sickness ended up getting a lot worse, and he had to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance. But while he was in the hospital for a bit being cared for due to his super high blood pressure and terrible diet, he would call out to all his nurses asking for them to marry him and be his housewife, and then complain about how terrible being a single man was. But because of his behavior, the president of the hospital came down for a surprise visit to his room and told him that he was being discharged and would never be admitted into his hospital again. And since then, he's had to take day after day off work due to his sickness only getting worse. And his boss told him that his pay would be cut due to him never coming in enough. And so as of right now, he's been locked in his landfill-like house for a while, doing whatever work he can remotely while never getting any chores done. As for what my daughter had called him back then, an old fart, she told me she learned that from some of the high schoolers on the block. She said to me that they told her whenever an older man does something to me that I don't like, to call them that and run away. And so I made sure to tell her not to call anyone else that kind of name, besides the old fart that's locked up in his house right now.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
I feel so bad for your parents. Having to still care for their daughter even though she's well into being an adult now. At least start doing the chores or something there, Stacy.
Huh? You're saying all those things about me?
That's right. The high school dropout, stay-at-home loser should be the one to do the chores for them. You're old enough now where you definitely should not still be relying on your parents. I can't believe you're not embarrassed to live like you are now.
Calling me a high school dropout stay-at-home loser is pretty mean, Amanda. I get that I did in fact drop out, but I'm working a full-time job now, so I wouldn't be calling me a loser or anything like that.
I don't want to see you being treated by both your parents at their house any longer. You chose to live the life of a dropout, right? Yet all I hear are excuses and complaints that you can't find a good job because you have no education. Some people call the life you have getting what you asked for.
Amanda? For some reason I get the feeling that you may be confused by something. I never chose to drop out of school myself. My parents told me to stop going to high school, and so I had no other choice but to leave. But even with that happening to me, I've worked hard to find a job that suits me.
Stop lying to me like some kind of politician. I already know the real you after everything I've heard from your parents.
Huh?
They said that you hated to study and learn, so you chose to drop out on your own. And they followed up by telling me that you don't even work a full-time job, rather just some simple part-time job making barely anything. They even said that you jump jobs a lot, leaving you sitting at home between jobs as their little stay-at-home loser. You must really love being a parasite sucking on all that wealth that both your parents have, huh?
What are you talking about? You're saying that my parents said all of that about me?
They sure did. They are very worried about what'll happen to you after they've both passed away. And so they came to me crying to ask me what they should do about you. I never thought there were people in this world that were completely fine with making their parents suffer.
You have it all wrong, though, Amanda. Can you give me a chance to tell you my side of things?
I don't see any point in listening to some dropout speak to me. I hate low-life scum like you, Stacy. If you plan to keep living life without actually working for your own money, then I'm going to have to cut all ties I have with you.
What? I don't want my little brother and you to cut ties with me, though.
Well, I don't want my future to be ruined by you if you happen to start leeching off of me. If you don't want us to leave you, then it's time you go out and make a living yourself.
Hey, Mom! What have you made Amanda start thinking of me? Did you make her think that I was the one that chose to drop out of high school? And you made her think that I had no job and am some kind of a parasite? I can't believe you'd start telling so many lies to my sister-in-law for no good reason. Because I just got some nasty texts from Amanda about how upset she is with me. She told me to get a grip and to stop taking advantage of the two of you. But in reality, I'm working a great job, and if anything, I'm the one helping you both out the most. I'm the one that's literally supporting you and Dad right now, so what the hell is going on right now with all of you?
Oh, stop that. You don't have to be that upset with us. Your father and I both have to maintain an image ourselves, and so we had no other choice.
Huh?
You understand that we have to keep a good image as parents for others to see, right? And your little brother is married to a woman whose parents are both very high-class doctors. So your father and I would never tell her that our company had gone bankrupt a while back.
You really are such a vain person, Mom. You've always been trying to keep your reputation as the wife of some CEO even after his company fell apart. Most people already know that his company went bankrupt, yet you keep trying to hide it for some reason?
We are doing this for your brother as well, though. Having a wife that's family is full of amazing people while the husband's family is full of failures. If they were to find out about that, they would leave your brother in an instant. I'm hiding the truth from them for your brother's sake, as well as for our own.
I get what you're trying to say to me, but don't treat me like an idiot, okay? I know that you're just trying to maintain your guys' pride is all. It was your guys' fault, after all, that I had to drop out of high school, right? Yet somehow you thought it okay to say that it was all my own choice.
Are you trying to say it was our fault?
While the company was going under, you guys went and started to take all the money that was saved up for me to go to college. And because of that, there was no reason for me to continue on with school, especially when you both kept pulling me out of class to come home and help you both.
What are you talking about? That's just you saying that you gave up on staying in school. You still had the chance to do well in school and get a scholarship to go to college with.
And I would have tried my best to get a full-ride scholarship or something to a school of my choice. But you kept telling me that as a woman, I didn't need an education. You both told me that every day while asking me to leave school over and over again to come home and help you guys with that failing business. You would even get frustrated with me and start saying things like me valuing myself more than my own family. I had no choice but to drop out of school after constantly hearing that from the two of you.
Oh, we said things like that to you, did we? I don't remember saying anything like that, though.
In the end, I did as you both had asked of me and dropped out of high school. And then after Dad said I could work in his company to help it recover, he started paying me less than minimum wage. Really, I was better off finding a job of my own instead of wasting my time working for practically nothing.
Don't say such awful things like that, Stacy. We made sure that by having you work in the real world early, you'd become an even better employee than others your age. And besides, you were still living with us while working, so there was no need for you to get the same pay as others, as you didn't have to pay any living costs.
And that's why I saved whatever I could that I received and tried to get out of the house. Right when I was about to leave the house and find a job of my own to live on, you both fumbled the ball and let the company go under. Then you and Dad came running to me, crying and asking me to come home and help you guys out.
Well, that was a very tough time for all of us. We had tried our hardest to make things work in that company, but ended up still falling short in some places. And that all happened right when your brother was going to university. If it wasn't for you and the money you brought to us, we would have never been able to raise our boy well enough.
If you're trying to make it seem like you're thankful for me, why are you wrapping it in a bunch of bullcrap? You know that I've been the one supporting you and Dad ever since your company went bankrupt, so why can't you just be thankful for me and speak the truth?
Come on, Stacy. I want to say the truth, but we have to do this for your brother. We cannot allow your brother to look bad compared to his lovely wife, Amanda. If they knew that his parents weren't well off, they'd leave him in the dust. So please, be a good little girl and follow along in our lives to make your father and I look good.
What?
I'm thankful for you in the bottom of my heart. But when we are with Amanda, you are going to be that no-good high school dropout stay-at-home loser that we want her to believe you are. Stacy, I just made sure to put all of your things outside the house for you. Come here at some point today and get rid of all of it, okay? From now on, you're no longer going to be living here. Huh.
Wait, what? Why can't I live at my parents' house anymore?
Because I can't look at your poor parents any longer as they struggle to take care of you. And so, from now on, your brother and I are going to move in with your parents. So, we have to make sure that the high school dropout stay-at-home loser is out of this.
Excuse me?
I made sure to give you a warning a few weeks ago, right? I told you to get a grip and find a good job for yourself. And that you should stop causing your parents any more trouble than you already have. Yet you didn't listen to me at all, and have not found yourself any kind of proper work yet, just as I expected from a parasite. And so, we had to do something about you.
You're kidding me, right? So you've gone ahead and put all my things out in front of the house without asking first? Having to leave that house without any warning?
Your parents are so happy right now. Having the parasitic dropout out of their house has brought them all kinds of joy.
What?
And on top of that, their very successful son and his wife will be living together with them. I can't blame them for being so happy after finally having such a heavy weight lifted off their backs. Your brother works for a very good company, and I'm able to live perfectly as his housewife for the rest of my life.
You all really can only think about yourselves and nothing else then, huh? I've also told you plenty of times, Amanda, but I am seriously working a very good job right now. I even have the money to take care of that whole household without issue. Yet after everything I've done, I'm actually going to be kicked out of my own parents' home?
Come on now, Stacy, and stop with all that lying. I've never heard of any high school dropout getting a good enough job with any company. Trying to make yourself look good now by lying about some magical job that you don't have? This will only make things hurt worse for you.
I guess you really never will be able to listen to what I've had to say. I do think my parents are the worst for getting you to believe such lies, but you not even giving me the chance to explain everything to you is just insane.
I told you there's no point in me listening to whatever a dropout has to say about me. If I were to listen to you, my ears might just melt right off my head.
Excuse me?
Both of my parents are amazing doctors, and I'm their very well-off daughter. And since I have a husband now with a very good career, I cannot be bothered to be around some loser like you.
I see. No matter what I try and say, to you, I'm just a stupid high school dropout. And that's why you won't listen or give me a chance.
An embarrassment like you only has one job now, and that's to get lost. From now on, your very busy business-owning mom and dad will be taking care of your brother and I. Huh.
Good luck with my jobless parents, then.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot to be upset about right now, but honestly, I'm relieved to be getting kicked out of that house. I'm finally set free from those two extremely selfish, unemployed parents of mine. Amanda, do your best with taking care of those two for me, okay? They really don't have anything to offer now that their company has been gone for years, but since you and my brother will be living with them now, I don't have to worry.
Their company is gone? Oh, wait, what do you mean they're jobless? His parents still have a company, right? I never heard anything about their company going bankrupt or anything.
That's because they worked really hard to hide that fact from you. So of course you wouldn't hear about any of it.
Wait, what do you mean they worked hard to hide it from me?
In reality, the both of them lost that company years ago. They had a hard time keeping that company afloat, and after a lot of near misses, they finally lost the company. And so right now, they've both been living each day pretty well thanks to the money I bring in. I've been the sole provider for those two this whole time, Amanda.
Huh? That cannot be real. Do you actually think I'd believe you telling me that their company went bankrupt when I've never heard a thing about this from them before?
Well, of course you won't, especially since my mom has been lying to you about it for a while now. So there's no way you could believe me right now.
And also, you're still a high school dropout, right? There's no way someone as low as you could ever take care of your parents as well as you make it seem. There's no way an idiot with no education could ever support two people on their own.
I didn't drop out of high school because I hated studying, you know. Because of my parents both being failures and crying to me all the time, I had to stop going.
Your parents' fault then?
Right when I was getting into my junior year, their company was in hot water. And out of nowhere, they took the money that had been saved up for me to go to college and put it into their company to keep it from going under. And so because of that, there was little hope of me going on, of course, with the addition of them both constantly asking me to help them. I just wasn't able to manage myself anymore and had to give in to their nonstop begging. But as for my brother, they told me that he needs to go to a good university since he's a man. And that's why he was able to get a college degree and all of that.
Wait, really?
And for me, I was left trying my best to help out in whatever way I could with my parents' company. Luckily, even though I wasn't earning much for helping them, I learned a lot about running a business and was able to start my own smaller company. So thankfully, I'm now able to make around $200,000 a year off of it.
$200,000. Yo, you're able to bring in that kind of money? Wait, I didn't even know that you had a whole company of your own now.
Well, I tried my best to explain all of that to you before. I said that I was working a good job. And I asked you to just listen to me over and over again, right?
Ugh.
But you chose to only believe in my mom's word without ever giving me a chance. And you had the idea that because I was a dropout, I couldn't amount to anything. But because of your blind faith in her, I was finally able to get out of their house, and I am so happy for it. I was getting very tired of having to give my time to the two of them.
Wait. You can't possibly be saying that, we'll be able to care for them. Having to live in the same house as two unemployed losers is not something I can do. They'll be the downfall of me, and I'll never be able to have my own life. I'm no longer going to live here with them. There's no way I'm living with people that have no money.
Oh?
I thought living with them would mean more money for me. Honestly, I had assumed that they'd pay for everything I wanted and needed. But that'll never happen now that they don't have a company to bring money in with. There's no merit to me living with them anymore now.
Amanda? You had been wanting to live with my parents so that they'd pay for all of your wants and needs? Even though they'd already be letting you live in the house with them?
What do you want? What's wrong with me having them pay for everything I need and want? Isn't it normal to have your parents paying for you when you're living with them? And I could use the money to help out my parents with their life right now. What's so wrong with that?
What? Your parents need help with their lives now too? Those two are doctors, right? So they should be bringing in a large amount of money for themselves. I have never heard of a doctor that doesn't make enough money to support themselves.
Huh?
Could this mean that your parents aren't actually doctors? There's no reason that you would have lied to all of us about that, right? I'm sure you and your parents are different from my selfish and self-centered ones.
Hey, how did you guess that? How did you come to the conclusion that my parents aren't doctors? How did you figure out that I've been lying to you? Are you some kind of investigator or something?
What? They aren't actually doctors then, so you have been lying to us all.
No, wait, that wasn't a lie. Wait, hold on, I never said they were real doctors, did I?
Can you calm down a little and clearly explain yourself? What was a lie and what was the truth? And can you tell me why you lied in the first place?
Well, because your brother told me that his parents both ran a company of their own. And since your dad was technically a CEO, I had no choice but to lie about my parents. I didn't want him to think poorly of me, so I accidentally started telling him that my parents were both doctors. But in reality, those two just work part-time at the supermarket.
Oh.
If he found out that they both were part-timers at the supermarket, I thought he'd give up on me and your parents would tell me I can't marry him. So that's why I kept my family a secret so that I could be married. But for a while now, I've been getting an allowance from the both of my parents to make it seem like they are rich. Around $500 a month to keep everyone from knowing the truth about them.
So you have really made your life tough on yourself. After lying about both of your parents and then having them pay you money every month to keep up the ruse?
That's why for a little while I kept the truth hidden and received some money from the two of them. But now they want me to repay them for that, and the amount they want to receive from me is huge. And since I can't keep paying them back as much as they've been asking, I planned on living with your parents to get some money from them. I wouldn't have to pay for living expenses, and they would even be able to hand my parents the money they need.
And so that's your reason for kicking out some dropout stay-at-home loser? You made it seem as though you were being a saint and saving my parents the trouble of having to deal with me, when really you just wanted to become the parasite that feeds off them.
But I never thought that your parents would be unemployed. I just hoped that I could at least get a little money from the both of them for living with them. What is wrong with the both of your parents? They hid all of that from me. They're the worst.
So you're saying that about them? You yourself lied about your parents so that you could get married to my brother and make it this far with him.
Well, I can be forgiven for my lies because they were necessary. I just needed to lie so that I'd be able to marry your brother. It was just a harmless lie, unlike the ones your parents have told.
No matter what the reason is a lie. But isn't this all great? Both of your guys' parents have been having trouble with money, so you don't have to worry about one's parents being better than the others. Now you can all relax and live together as a happy family. So as for caring for both my parents in that house, please and thank you.
Come back home, Stacy. I never thought that Amanda would have been the one to lie to all of us. What was she telling us when she said her parents were doctors? All they are, two part-time losers. I'm gonna have her divorce my son right now.
What? You're making her leave the family?
Of course I am. She lied to everyone about who her parents really were. But by doing that, we'll only be left with your brother in this house. And with the work he does and the money he makes, we won't have enough to live in this house. So that's why you need to come back to our house and help us.
No, he should be able to help you better than me, right? He was the one that went to an amazing university and got into a really nice company that pays him so well, right? He should be more than able to support you all with the money he makes.
Well, he's making less than we had all been led to believe. We thought he'd at least be making $100,000 a year at that company with the education he has. But he's only making a measly $50,000 for all three of us to try and live on.
Well, he only just started working there, so it makes sense he's not that high up yet. If anything, he's making just enough at his age with the education he has.
But with that kind of money, your father and I can't live our lives freely. When we had you, you'd give us $50,000 a year to spend on what all we wanted. But he said he can't do the same for us. He said if he works really hard, he could do $1,000 a month, but that's not enough.
Well, that's because you and Dad aren't economizing. Even though you lost that company years ago, you and Dad still live like you can both afford anything and do whatever you like. That's the whole reason I had to give you that $50,000 a year, is because you guys continued that costly lifestyle.
Hey, please, Stacy. Just come back to this house and bring everything back to the way it was. I'll apologize to you for everything that happened as long as you come back here.
Absolutely not. I am not going to ever give you guys any of my money ever again.
What?
And before you continue to think about trying to get me to come back, you might want to work on gathering all your things and getting out of there. Now that I'm not living there, I'm having the house sold.
Huh? You're gonna sell this house?
Did you forget about that? I'm the one that owns that house. When you both lost the company, the bank was going to take the house and everything as well, so I stepped in and bought the house from you.
Huh?
And I've paid off the rest of the house now, so I'm free to sell it. So you and Dad and everyone need to get out.
Yo, you're lying, right? Wait! You're going to sell this wonderful house that we've all lived in?
Well, if you had never thrown me out of the house, then this wouldn't have to be happening. But now that I've seen how you guys act, I have to do even the most heartbreaking of things. Along with this, I plan to cut ties to you all as well. And anything that has traces of you guys on it is going to be sold, like the house. I want to completely forget about you all and start a new life for myself.
What?
No matter what you have to say, it's too late. So I'll give you until the end of the week, okay? If you don't leave by then, expect the police or someone to come pick you all up. Immediately after that, my brother and Amanda got a divorce. And in Amanda's case, she had to go back to her parents, who were pissed that she got a divorce. And so they told her to find a job and start making all the money that she needs to pay them back for what they'd done for her. But in her selfish and stupid fashion, Amanda told them to shut up and that if only they had real jobs, she wouldn't have been divorced. And so right now, the three of them are living together in her parents' house while she tries her hardest to make whatever money she can. In my parents' case, they are still with my brother at a smaller house, relying on him to care for them. But unlike how things were when they got to have me taking care of them, my brother is a lot more straightforward and is asking them to find some kind of work to start making a little extra money. He then told them that if they don't, he'll have no choice but to kick them out. And because of that, both my parents are now working their hardest to find some kind of employment. But of course, this hasn't all happened without my mom texting me constantly to have me come back and help them. But every single time, I leave her texts on read and completely ignore her.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Listen to this. Listen to this. I just went and handed in my marriage forms with Zeke. So with that, starting today, I am now his wife.
Really? How wonderful.
And not just that. Zeke told me that today would also be our anniversary since we started dating, and so he got me this gorgeous and delicious cake. I was already so happy to be married to him and all, but he went that extra mile and had this cake made for me by a very famous patissier. He told me that the man is a very good friend of his, so he was able to make this cake for me without any planning in advance. The fact that my husband would get something like that done for me on a day like today has just made me feel so blessed.
I suppose so. I'm so happy to see you being loved by my ex like that. And the fact that you get to enjoy a cake from a famous patissier. How amazing. You have just been having so much fun with the man you stole from your own friend, right?
Hey! Ariel! Stop trying to make everything about you all the time. Can't you see that your friend just got married to the man she's been in love with for so long now? I would just really appreciate it if you were just a bit more kind to me and celebrated a day like today.
Don't expect me to shut up and let you rub that life of yours in my face now. Who the hell would want to celebrate a backstabbing whore like you anyway? If anything, the thing we should be talking about right now is you paying me that settlement.
I'm sorry. I'm leaving all of that in the hands of Zeke to pay off. I have no idea what he's doing with the money right now, so you can't really ask me anything about it.
I sure can ask you because you have to pay me a settlement as well. You're really going to make him pay it all off for you.
Well, of course I am. Zeke happens to run a whole freaking company as the CEO after all. And men like that are loaded with money, right?
Huh?
I don't have that kind of money on me right now. And I just quit the job I had in order to become his wife. That's why I won't be able to pay you any kind of settlement right now. The only thing I'm able to do right now is sit next to my wonderful husband and laugh at all his jokes and show him my most pretty smiles. He's giving me a life of luxury, and also the least I can do is make sure he sees just how beautiful of a woman I am.
Hold on a second. A life of luxury? Is that what you just said?
That's right. That amazing cake wasn't the only thing Zeke prepared for me today. In order to make me the most happy woman in the world, he prepared for me the most wonderful mansion to move into. That's why at this moment we are getting into his really fancy car, and we'll be driving out to that mansion and moving in.
Huh?
He loves me so much that I'm almost feeling suffocated. Not only did I get a really special cake, but I'm also getting to live in this massive mansion with him. And above all that, he seems to be madly in love with me. So I'd have to say, I've won the game of life. Thank you so much for letting your husband throw you away at the time in order to marry me. My dream of living in a giant mansion with a CEO is finally going to come true.
I'm the one who's the CEO, though.
What?
I'm sorry to have to break this to you while you're flying in the clouds. But before you finish off that delicious cake he's gotten for you, would you please get a taste of reality? I know you're probably too euphoric right now for me to be able to get all the information into that head of yours, but you need to know something.
What reality are you talking about? I know for a fact that Zeke is the CEO. He happens to run Accounting Central and goes into work every day to make sure the company is doing well.
No, the one in charge of running Accounting Central would be me. It's the company I run right now, making me the CEO of it. And I'll have you know that with the divorce, Zeke lost his job and is now unemployed.
Huh? That's your company? And not only that, what? Zeke lost his job there.
Well, to be completely honest, he used to be the CEO of this company. Him and I worked together to run this company as husband and wife, per se.
You both worked together?
There are plenty of companies in the world that have two people running them, or even a whole board running them. And as for Accounting Central, I was the one that built the company from the bottom up. But as it began to grow larger and larger, I needed more help and had to rely on more people to join me in making things possible. That's when Zeke ended up quitting his previous job that he had before working with me and came over to give me a hand. Since we were both committed to one another at the time, I thought the best option would be to make myself and him the CEO of the company by splitting control over things.
Is that right?
But then Zeke started to go out and have fun with you. And that was soon followed by us getting a divorce. Of course, with a divorce, there would be no way for us to work together anymore, so I had him removed from the company. At the time, he was going on about how he deserved part of the company, or at least a part of the profits for the rest of his life. But the thing is, the company was always all mine, and therefore I get to decide what he keeps and what he loses. And considering he was cheating on me and led us to get divorced, I chose to not give him much of anything. And then that led to a very smooth firing of Zeke.
Well, what? Wait a second. I never heard anything about that from Zeke before. He's always been going on about how he's the one running the company. And multiple times now he's told me it's his company.
I'm not saying he doesn't continue to say that the company is his. But the truth is, the company was never his, and he was only working at the top in order to help his wife, the true owner and CEO. And right now, all he really is an unemployed jerk. He doesn't run anything anymore and only holds the title of being a cheating little jobless idiot.
Then what about the mansion he's promised me? The mansion that him and I are supposedly moving into today? There's no way he can afford a mansion if he's unemployed now, right? And wait a second. What about the settlement we have to pay you? Zeke is going to pay for me as well, right?
I have no idea about all of that. How about you ask the man sitting next to you in the car driving?
I'm too scared to ask him something like that.
Well, when it came to the life we had together, we were both living in your average apartment. I get that we were both running a company, but even then we were just living in a 2-bedroom apartment that was just under 1,000 square feet.
What? Are you kidding me? I thought that you and him had been living in some kind of penthouse downtown or something.
If we had been running a large company together, I'm sure that would be the case. But this company isn't that large yet. We were just making enough to afford to live in a decent apartment downtown is all. No way we were going to afford some penthouse. So I really wonder where the jobless Zeke is taking you to right now. He was never able to live in anything like a mansion back when he had a job running a company.
What the hell? I'm scared right now, Arya. Where the hell is he taking me right now? Oh, we should be going to a mansion right now to finish off this lovely cake, right? Starting tomorrow, I should be living the life of a celebrity, right?
Oh, look at you getting all excited and worked up at the same time. Now you have a wonderful time with your new husband.
You've really done it this time, telling Penelope about how I'm unemployed right now. Because of that, she started to yell at me while we were driving to let her out of my car.
The only problem I see here is that you were hiding all of that from your new wife that you only just got married to. So tell me, where were you planning to take her away to? She was told that you were taking her to this massive mansion you bought for her. No matter how I tried to think about it, there's no way you could afford a place like that.
I was taking her to my parents' house. After having to try and calm her down while driving another hour, we finally arrived here.
Huh? You took her to your parents' house?
I wasn't lying about anything to her. Look, my parents happen to have a rather large house. Because of how large it is, most of the people in this town like to call it the mansion on Jefferson Street.
Even if it's not completely a lie, there is still no way things are going to work out for you. You had been telling her that the two of you would be moving into a mansion, yet it's turned out to be her new in-laws' house. You both only just got married, so no matter how hard you try and stretch things, in her eyes, I'm not sure she's wanting to live with her in-laws yet.
We would only have to be living with my parents for a little while. Just a little while. Look, I have a few things I need to fix in my life, and that requires my parents to be around to support me. That's why I brought her here, to live for a little bit.
And what did Penelope say to an excuse like that? She thought you were a CEO, yet you have no job. And she thought you were taking her to a mansion to live together in, but it's turned out to be her in-laws' house. I'm sure she's livid right now, huh?
About that one, Arya. Look, I know you might be feeling upset still, after being stabbed in the back by the both of us, but right now she's very happy with the way things have turned out.
What?
Look, at first she was pretty pissed saying that I'd lied to her, but after explaining everything to her, she became very happy. That when she learned that my parents' house is really this big, she started to go on about how this house and the land are all hers. started to ask me just how much money the both of my parents would be passing on to her when they die. Seeing her get all excited like that made my heart skip a few beats, actually. Also, after explaining to her what my next job would be, she almost passed out due to joy.
Oh, so you've already decided where you'll be working next?
I have. Right after you had me fired from your company, my friend hit me up asking if I wanted to work for him. He's in need of some help right now, so I'll be the perfect option for his company.
That's amazing, Zeke. Now that you'll be getting another job here soon, you can finally pay me the settlements I've been asking you and Penelope for. I have been waiting for so long now, and I'm getting very impatient with the both of you.
Don't get so worked up over it. Look, once I become the next director there, I'll give you whatever you've asked us for. Look, honestly, I'll give you double what you've asked for since I kept you waiting.
Well, that would be wonderful. I guess you really have found yourself a well-paying job.
Well, this is the kind of income a director like myself is expected to be making, after all. Next month, I'll be joining my friend in his company, and there'll be a ceremony held for me joining as the new director. Then I'll be helping my friend grow his company with him, and making even more than I was before with you. Then I can take Penelope with me, and we can move into the mansion I promised her. I'll have the dream mansion she's been wanting for so long built, just the way she wants it.
That would make her so happy, wouldn't it?
Once they have the new mansion built and we moved in, I'll invite you to the housewarming party as well. I'll show you the loser that you are, just how happy my new wife and I are, living in such a modern and gorgeous mansion.
Hey, listen to this. The place that Zeke ended up taking me to happens to be his parents' house.
I heard all about that from him yesterday. I thought you were going to be pissed off with him, but you actually turned out to be really happy.
Well, at first I was shocked at what was going on, but when I found out that both the house and the land would be mine, I forgave him. I never thought that Zeke was going to be the successor of two very rich parents and would be getting all of this to himself. Also, it so happens that his parents have a lot of other assets that we'll be given access to after they are gone. After seeing just how much money there is in all of this, I don't mind spending a little time living together with his parents after all.
How much money there is? You've been looking at all the things his parents have and their values? Great job.
Are you getting all jealous of me now or something? I don't care how much all of this hurts you, because I'm the one who ended up with everything here.
Huh?
Really sucks to be you, Arya. Not only does this husband of mine love me so much more than he ever loved you, but he's willing to let me have everything his parents leave behind. Oh, who cares that you happen to run some small little company like that? Compared to all the money and assets my husband and I will be getting, you are nothing, and your company is nothing.
You're calling my very important company nothing now?
Don't try and act all tough just because you're a CEO. Compared to you, I've come out above you by miles. I mean, I happen to have a husband that will soon be a very high-up director and has all of these things just waiting around to become mine.
All of those things will soon become mine, you mean?
What?
I was just sitting here quietly waiting to see just how far you were going to take things. But I told you yesterday to take a really good look at reality, right? Yet you still haven't settled down to do so, and are only making yourself look like even more of an idiot. Could that cake you had yesterday been a little too much sugar for you?
Hey, what the hell do you mean all of this will be yours? Stop saying such BS right now.
I'm just speaking the truth is all.
No way that could be true. Why the hell would all the things his parents own become yours? You are his ex-wife and have nothing to do with him now. All you are is a stranger. So how would you ever get any of the things his parents own?
I'm getting all of those things because that's the promise we made.
The promise you made?
Are either of Zeke's parents around you right now?
Right now they are out in the living room taking over some things. They asked me to come and join them because it's about something important. then maybe you should go and join them in that discussion. I'm sure that right now Zeke is being told the reality of the situation and what will be happening from here on out. A lot of it has to be about how I'm the owner of that house and its land.
Huh? Did you just say you're the owner of this house?
Now you go and listen in on the details from your in-laws, please. I have a lot of work going on today, so I have to get going.
What is all this about, Arya? You own both my parents' house and the land the house is on. I won't allow that to be the case.
Whether or not you'll allow it, the documents hold the truth. And the truth is, I own them both. As your parents have already told you, they both wanted me to own the house and its land. I was asking them to find a way to get their son to pay me the settlement I was asking for. And they came to me saying that they were sorry for what you had done and offered their house and everything to me.
I heard about that from them, but I had no reason to believe all that. I never thought that my parents would give up the rights to their house and everything. They never said anything about something like that going on. And from what else I've heard, when buying their house, they relied on you to do all the accounting. They even had you taking out the loan for him in order to afford that place. Why did you never tell me anything about all of that? Why did they never tell me?
I'm sure it had something to do with their pride as your parents. They even told me to keep all that had been going on a secret from you. They understood that if you found out about what had been going on, you would most likely get upset with them.
No way.
I knew that as your wife, it wasn't good to keep secrets from you such as that. But considering it was your parents asking me to not tell you, I couldn't say no. And they were the ones I was getting business from, as I was their accountant. So I definitely wouldn't want to lose their trust.
If the way things are going, I'm not going to get anything from them. Look, if I'm able to get you the money you've been asking for, then you'll give them back that house and the land, right?
Well, of course. I'm just holding on to the house right now as a way of making sure I have some sort of value coming from you guys. Although, if you don't get that money to me soon, I will keep this house and all for good, and will most likely sell it for more than I'm asking for in the settlement. So as long as you pay me the amount that I've asked for these next few months, then I promise you all that you'll get the house back.
Really?
But you will be able to get all that money that I've asked from you on time this time, right? From what I've seen already out of you, I'm not sure you will be able to. But what do you think? Will you be all right?
What? What do you mean you're not sure about me paying you back?
Have you been listening to anything your parents have said to you? They told you about how much I've been asking for from you on top of the settlement, right? Back when they took out that loan through me for the house, they were never able to pay it all back to me. And so I told them during our divorce just to have you pay the remainder back to me in the settlement. But you never paid me anything. And so they have been begging me to allow an extension on when I want the money. But I've already told them it's not going to happen now.
What? I never knew about that either. No, I just thought I was having to pay you the original settlement and that was all.
Well, that's not at all the case here. But it's starting to sound more and more like I'll be getting to keep this house and land that I've acquired, right? I would much rather have the money I asked for, but if I'm able to time things out just right, I could sell the house and land for even more than I was asking you all for.
No, hold on a second. Whenever I talked with my parents about their new place, they always told me they had everything under control and had it all paid off. They lied to me. And when I asked them about who they got the loan through, they just lied to me and told me some local bank.
I hope you're not getting too upset with your parents right now.
I'm going to talk with my parents right now.
Oh, what should I do? Arya? I was just calling to go and see Zeke a second ago. He told me that from here on out we're going to have to live here with his parents. Forever.
What? But didn't he say he only planned to stay with them for a little bit before his new job?
He says that things aren't going so well for his parents now, so we're all going to have to live together. He also told me about how his parents made some mistakes when buying this place, and that's made things even worse for us.
After asking him how much money we needed to get out of this mess, he told me far more than even his salary will be able to pay. He then told me about how your parents were trying to get this house sold by renovating it and all that, but nobody would take it off their hands. So now, in order to help them with their losses and for us to still have a place to live, we're going to have to live here, with them, and to hand our money over.
Oh my. I thought after hearing something like that you would have made a run for the hills to escape Zeke and his family. But you are being one very special wife by sticking by his side in order to support him in his family's time of need. I'm sure he's still very worried, though, about how things will play out. So make sure to take good care of him.
I'm the one freaking out right now, though. I was told that if you don't get the money you've asked for here soon, the house and the land will all be yours forever, right? There's no way the things that are all supposed to be mine have to go and be taken away by you.
Well, it's Zeke's parents' fault for not paying off all the money I was owed by them. So would you stop whining about all of that to me when you should be talking with them right now?
Huh?
Also, it doesn't really matter to me anymore that they didn't pay me everything back, as they left that to their son to do in the divorce. I mean, the plan was to have him take all their things from them after they died, including their debt. So, on top of the settlements I'm still owed, he should be paying me the remainder of whatever his parents forgot about. Luckily, Zeke will be able to pay all of that to me, right? I mean, he's going to work for his friend now as a director and will be making massive amounts of money. He'll be able to take care of everything for both you and his parents without even having to break a sweat, right? But remember, there is a deadline to all of that, so he'd better make it quick.
What do you mean he'll be a director at his friend's company? All of that vanished and he's not going to become anything now. He lied about all of that to me, so he's still going to be an unemployed jerk.
Are you serious?
It's not that he lied, but the guy he called his friend stabbed him in the back. Even though he was the one that asked for Zeke to join him in the first place. That guy is the real liar in this situation. He won't let Zeke come and join the company anymore. He said some stupid crap about how he thought Zeke had experience running a company, but that he was wrong. He then followed that by saying Zeke must have just helped run your company in practice, because in reality he had no clue what he was doing.
Wow. Poor old Zeke.
There's no way someone could do that to their friend. I was so happy to see my husband becoming a director. I needed him to become one in order to get us out of this situation.
I'm sure you did. You have been so worried about paying off your in-laws' debt to me as well as getting this house and land back that I received from them in exchange. And like I've been saying time and time again, you guys will also have to pay me that settlement I've been asking again and again for. You have so many things to be worried about now.
I know that! Everything is going to hell here! We need money right now more than ever. Right now they are trying so hard to get any bit of money they can. They've started to sell all their antiques. And those expensive things that are supposed to become mine in the future are all going away. And they aren't even handing any of the money they get for them to me, instead using it to pay off other smaller debts they've had. I'm not getting a single penny out of any of this.
Hold on now. Those guys have been in debt to others besides just myself?
That's right. Zeke's parents have borrowed money from all kinds of people in order to try and make their lives better. But now that they need to start paying all of that money back, they have been selling literally everything.
Wow. I can't believe it. Then how are things going for them right now? Are they going to be able to avoid being hit by higher interest rates and things like that?
Not at all. They can barely make enough money right now to pay off anything. And pretty soon here they will have no more momentum. There is no way this family is making it out of here alive. I can already tell what the end will look like. This family and everything they have with them will fail!
Whew, you poor thing. Especially when the people you just became family to are trying too hard to keep their heads above water right now.
Hey, please, Aria. I want to get away from Zeke and his family as soon as possible. Would you come and get me from here? I need your help getting me out of here.
What? You can't just run away from all your problems like that. You happen to be part of that family now. Your husband is trying so hard right now to make things work, so you have to be there to support him. Your job as his wife is to be by his side laughing and smiling for him, right?
With the way things are right now, I can't smile at all. Please, Aria, help me. If I can't get away from all of them now, I'm going to burn in hell just like them.
Well, as long as you go to hell along with them, you'll have someone to keep you company. It'll be the four of you, all paying for the sins you all committed. So now that you're aware of that, you all have the best of luck paying off your debts. For starters, maybe work on paying off the settlements you and Zeke owe me, please. Although Zeke and his parents tried their best, they weren't bringing in nearly enough money to pay off all the debt they were in. I myself was a little bit worried about if they'd ever pay me the settlement or not, but after a few months' worth of payments, I got all the money I wanted from those two. However, having already paid her part of the settlement, Penelope later started texting me asking to give back the money she gave me because things were even worse for her. I'm sure things really did get worse for her and everyone else, considering her husband was still jobless and both her in-laws still in debt. I would have loved to help her get out of such a pickle. But my heart can only be so loving, and so I did the only thing I could for her, and that was blocking her number. I did, however, end up giving them the house and land back, since I got the settlement I had asked for. But from what I heard out of other people's mouths, they were never able to pay off everything, and are no longer living in that house. Apparently, they ended up selling the house for half the amount it was worth. All while Penelope sat in the yard screaming her head off about how something like this was never supposed to happen. As of right now, that very unfortunate family of four is living in a studio apartment, having to sleep alone on the hard floor together like a can of sardines.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.